You are 43 and your real estate portfolio is worth $10 million. You are standing in an empty apartment on the 7th floor of a building you own. Bare concrete floors, smell of fresh paint, city visible through floor-to-ceiling windows. You bought this building 14 months ago for $2.3 million. Today, a buyer offered $3.8 million, and you said no without checking your phone. You drove here in the same car you drove when you had nothing. You are holding a cheap yellow legal pad and a pen you bought at a pharmacy for $1.19. You've carried this pen since the beginning, cracked cap, ink ring at the bottom, and you've never replaced it with anything better. By the end of this video, you'll definitely see that the gap between $0 and a $10 million portfolio isn't capital and it isn't connections. It's a specific way of reading risk that most people never develop because they're too afraid to make the first mistake. You'll find out why you're stuck at your current level, and the answer will surprise you. This is your life as a real estate investor. Level 1, $0. You have no money and one idea. It is a Sunday afternoon, your kitchen table, a laptop open to a real estate listing website, and a calculator you've been using since college. The property is a 2-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood most of your friends wouldn't drive through. Asking price, $87,000. You run the numbers 3 times. The math works. Barely, but it works. You have $11,000 saved. The down payment requires $8,700. The rest goes to closing costs, and you have nothing left for repairs. You know this. You do the math again anyway. You tell your wife. She listens, asks 2 questions, and says it's your decision. You hear both things in that sentence, the support and the doubt, and you file both away. You tell your brother. Your brother says the neighborhood is bad. You say you know. Your brother says, what if nobody rents it? You say you've already spoken to a property manager who has a waiting list for that zip code. Your brother says he didn't know that. Neither of you say anything for a moment. You call the bank on a Monday morning. The loan officer is 28, 3 years younger than you, and he speaks to you the way people speak to someone they've already decided isn't serious. He says your debt-to-income ratio is borderline. He says he'll see what he can do. He says he'll call back by Thursday. He calls back the following Tuesday. You close on the property 6 weeks later. You sign 14 documents in a conference room that smells like carpet cleaner. The attorney hands you the keys. 2 keys on a plain metal ring. You hold them in your palm in the parking lot for a moment. You feel nothing dramatic, just weight, small, specific weight. You write the address on the first page of the yellow legal pad. Below it you write $87,000. Below that, first one. The first rule, at $0, the only thing standing between you and your first property is the decision to stop running the numbers and start signing the documents. Level 2, 1 property. The tenant moves in 6 weeks after closing. Her name is Diana. She pays $950 a month, always on the first, always by bank transfer. The mortgage is $610. After taxes, insurance, and the property manager's fee, you clear $180 a month. $2,160 a year on an $11,000 investment. You know what that number is. You run the calculation at your kitchen table on a Tuesday night, and you stare at it for a long time. Not because it's a lot, because of what it means if you repeat it. The first repair arrives in month 4. The water heater. $340. You pay it from your personal account, the one with $2,800 left in it after the closing. You sit in the kitchen that night and tap the pen against the edge of the legal pad. Twice, slow, then stop. The way you do when the math is tighter than you planned. Then you open the laptop. You spend the next 3 months studying, every night after work, financing structures, cap rates, cash-on-cash returns, depreciation schedules. You fill 11 pages of the legal pad with calculations, formulas, notes, and margins. The pen bleeds through on page 7. You keep writing. You apply for a HELOC on your primary residence. The bank approves $40,000. You don't touch it. You just want to know it exists. Your phone shows 34 unread messages. Friends, group chats, dinner invitations. You see them. You answer the important ones 2 days late and the rest not at all. Your wife mentions it once. You say you're in a phase. She doesn't say it again for 3 months. Month 9, Diana calls. The bathroom faucet is leaking. You call the property manager before dinner. It's handled by morning. You feel something shift. Not pride, efficiency. The system working the way you built it. The second rule: one property doesn't make you an investor. It makes you a landlord. The difference between the two is what you do with the $180. Level 3, 3 properties. You buy the second property 14 months after the first. A duplex, $124,000, same zip code, 2 units, 2 tenants, $1,800 combined rent. You use the HELOC for the down payment. The third property comes 8 months later. A single-family home 2 streets over, $96,000. A young couple moves in at $1,100 a month. 3 properties now. Combined value $307,000. Combined monthly rent $3,850. You are clearing just over $800 a month after all expenses. You quit the property manager, not because of the cost, because you've learned enough to do it yourself for now. You manage 3 units from a spreadsheet and a phone. Saturday mornings become site visits. You drive the same route every week. Property 1, Property 2, Property 3. Windows down, yellow legal pad on the passenger seat. A tenant in the duplex stops paying in month 3. 2 months of silence, 2 months of formal notices, 1 court appearance. The eviction takes 4 months and costs $1,400 in legal fees. You sit in the courthouse hallway on a plastic chair and tap the pen against the legal pad. Twice, slow, then stop, waiting for the judge to call your case. A woman beside you is doing the same thing for the 4th time. She says it gets easier. It doesn't. It just gets faster. You refinance property 1. Pull out $18,000 in equity. The bank officer who handles the refinance is not the same 28-year-old from the first closing. This one offers you coffee. Your phone shows 89 unread messages. A close friend asks if you're okay, says you've been distant. You say you're building something. He says, from what? You think about the answer for longer than the question deserves. The third rule, 3 properties, is where you stop being lucky and start being tested. The eviction, the vacancy, the 2 a.m. call about the burst pipe. These are not setbacks. They are the curriculum. Level 4, the first real deal. You find the building on a Tuesday afternoon, a listing that has been sitting for 61 days. A 6-unit apartment building, $480,000, 2 units vacant, 1 tenant 3 months behind, the roof described in the listing as serviceable. You walk through it alone on a Thursday morning. The property manager who listed it meets you at the door and checks his phone twice during the tour. The vacant units smell like mildew and old carpet. The roof access shows daylight through 1 corner. You write 4 pages of notes on the legal pad without saying much. You offer $390,000. The seller counters at $460,000. You walk away. 3 days later they call back. You close at $415,000. You spend $44,000 on the renovation. New roof, 2 units gutted and rebuilt, plumbing upgraded throughout. You project manage it yourself every Saturday for 4 months. The yellow legal pad in your hand, the cracked pen noting every contractor invoice, every material cost, every deviation from the budget. 6 months after closing, all 6 units are occupied. Combined rent, $5,400 a month. The building cash flows $1,900 a month after debt service and expenses. You had it appraised. It came back at $720,000. You bought a building for $415,000 and created $261,000 in equity in 14 months. You write the number on the legal pad. You look at it for a while. You don't tell anyone except your wife. She says, "So what's next?" You already know. Your phone shows 180 unread messages. You haven't had dinner with your parents in 6 weeks. Your father calls on a Sunday and you call back 3 days later. You tell him things are busy. He says he knows, he can hear it. You say you'll come next weekend. You do. The 4th rule. The first real deal isn't about the money, it's about the proof that you can see what other people walk past. Level 5. The portfolio. You have 11 properties now. Combined value $4.2 million. Combined monthly rent $28,000. Monthly net cash flow after all expenses and debt service $7,400. You hire a property manager again, a firm this time, not an individual. You hire a bookkeeper. You open an LLC and then a second one. You have a real estate attorney on retainer. The yellow legal pad is still in your bag, but the calculations have migrated to spreadsheets your bookkeeper maintains. A developer approaches you about one of your properties, a corner lot in a neighborhood that has been changing for 2 years. He offers $680,000 for a property you paid $210,000 for 4 years ago. You don't sell. You ask him what he's building. He tells you. You go home and research the zoning for 3 evenings. You pull equity from 4 properties simultaneously, a coordinated refinance your attorney and accountant spend 6 weeks structuring. The total capital released, $380,000. You deploy it into 2 acquisitions within 90 days. The stress at this level is different. It's not the $340 water heater or the eviction court hallway. It's the call from your accountant in October saying your tax exposure for the year is larger than your entire savings were at level 1. You sit at your desk, tap the pen against the legal pad, twice, slow, then stop. And then you call the accountant back and ask what the options are. There are 3. You choose the most conservative one. Your phone shows 290 unread messages. You have a rule now. Sunday mornings are off limits. You enforce it most weeks. The 5th rule, at $4 million, the portfolio becomes a business. And businesses require systems, not heroics. Level 6. $10 million. The portfolio crosses $10 million on a Thursday in March, according to your accountant's quarterly valuation summary. There is no moment, no notification, no crossing of a line. Your accountant sends a PDF, you open it at your desk, you read the number, you close the PDF, and you finish your coffee. 23 properties. 8 residential, 6 mixed use, 3 small commercial, 4 undergoing renovation. A team of 7 people who manage the day-to-day. A property director, 2 managers, a bookkeeper, a maintenance coordinator, and 2 assistants. You bought the building you are standing in now 14 months ago. Today, someone offered $3.8 million for it, and you said no without checking your phone, because you already knew the number was wrong by $600,000. You walk through the empty apartment on the 7th floor, bare concrete, smell of fresh paint, city through the windows. You have done this hundreds of times, walked an empty unit, written notes on the yellow legal pad, calculated what it could become. The pad is the same brand, same pharmacy, same $1.19. The pen is the same cracked cap, same dried ink ring at the bottom. You have replaced the pen twice with identical ones from the same pharmacy. You keep going back. You write 1 line on the legal pad, not a number, not an address, just, still works. You fold the page, you put the pad in your bag, you walk to the window. The city is loud from up here. You can see 3 of your properties from this window. You don't point them out to anyone because there's no one here to point them out to. Your phone shows 8 unread messages. Your wife, your property director, your accountant, and 4 others. You answer your wife first. She asks if you want dinner at 7. You say yes. You sleep 7 hours. You eat dinner at the table. You are present most evenings now, not all, but most. And yet on a Thursday afternoon, when the portfolio is worth $10 million, and the building is full, and the team is running, and there is nothing that urgently requires you, you find yourself at your desk with the legal pad open to a blank page, and the cracked pen in your hand. Not writing, just holding it. And you feel something you cannot name. Not emptiness, not dissatisfaction. Something closer to the question of what you do when the thing you built to survive the uncertainty has outgrown the uncertainty. The machine runs. You built it. Somewhere right now, someone is at a kitchen table on a Sunday afternoon with a laptop open to a real estate listing website and a calculator they've been using since college. The property is $87,000 in a neighborhood most people wouldn't drive through. They've run the numbers 3 times. The math works. Barely. They think the hard part is the money. It isn't. The hard part is signing the documents when the math barely works, and then doing it again, and again, and again, until the math works the way you always knew it could. The first key is always 2 keys on a plain metal ring. Everything else is just more of the same decision, made at a larger scale.